got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. I got general peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. 死んだ天性 I was born like this, it's why immaculate conception. I just felt like this before, like this was Yoshi, one new weapon. I know I meditated on this that.
Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road. Plus Ultra. That's the sound of the wind blowing. Because that's the sound that you only can hear while these two titans staring at each other. Esdeath and Madara. The long-awaited battle that was supposed to happen ages ago is happening now. Neither one of them are moving. Neither one of them have pushed out a technique yet. They're just observing each other. As Akame and Mind are watching from a very safe distance. How come they have not attacked yet? It's been like 5 minutes. In the art of battle, they might be just observing each other, trying to see what the opponent can do. Or they might be talking. Yeah, let's just wait and see what happens. Esdeath, I understand that you believe the weak should die. If you're weak, the strong will survive over you. It will triumph over you. I used to be just like you. I used to have that same kind of ambition. The strong always prevails over the weak. Hell, I took out armies back then. But this ends now. Your evilness will not keep going. I will destroy every ounce of it right here, right now. I've been given a second chance, and I will turn this world into a peace utopia. And I will do it with my bare hands. This is where Madara flexes his Sharingan, and Esdeath gets into a stance. She then tells Madara that, I've been looking for someone to give me an interesting battle. It's very fun to see how the tournament turned into a warfare, but nevertheless, this should be interesting because I've wanted to fight you for a long time, Madara Uchiha. And I'm gonna say you trained your two lackeys well. You know how many soldiers I sent to kill the Nozamu village? Failure after failure. Yeah, I can only imagine that you would have succeeded. That's how I train my friends. To protect peace. Your hatred will not plague this land anymore. Now the two of them would face each other, and then Esdeath would get a devilish smile over her face, and she would say, well, come do something about it. Now the both of them would rush at each other with speed as they throwing punches, get into a fist fight with each other, sort of looking like they're trading blows like Dragon Ball Z, basically appearing all over the land. And as these two are fighting, they're causing destruction. Each part where they land, it's always a crater. So they're going all over the terrain fighting each other. Madara's throwing off fireballs, Esdeath is throwing off icicles everywhere. And Madara with his fire is countering her ice. And she doesn't like this, so she tries to switch it up by throwing a hailstorm. She then puts her hands together and says, hailstorm. And all of these hails start falling from the sky. Now, Madara has his Gumbai fan, and he just swings one time, annihilating all of them. Basically, these were not like regular hail. They were like sharp spikes just falling from the sky. And they're like very dense, sharp spikes. So Madara had to use his Gumbai to basically deflect each and every one of those from hitting him. Now this is where Esdeath would come in and punch Madara directly in the stomach, and Madara would cough up spitting blood before Madara would retaliate and punch Esdeath directly in the face. Now both of them would go flying back. Esdeath would land directly into a mountain, creating a crater, and Madara would just skip rock against the terrain, catching his balance and stand back up. Now, this is where Madara dusts himself off, but he still felt the blunt force from that attack. This is no weak character. Now, Esdeath gets up and she laughs, getting herself out of the crater. And this is where she gets serious as this purplish aura, like this purplish bluish aura just radiates over her body. Then all of a sudden, in a flash of speed, she's right there in Madara's face. Punches him in the face, punches him in the stomach, kicks him in the side, grabs him by his leg, and just starts slamming him against the ground. Madara does a fire style fireball jutsu, hits Esdeath head on with the fire style jutsu, but she had ice covering her, so it didn't do much damage. Now, this is where Esdeath does a spin kick and hit Madara directly back in the side where she kicked him at. Madara would cough up blood, but this is where Madara would jump back and say, fire style, great fire annihilation, and shoot a wave of fire at Esdeath, to which Esdeath would make an ice wall to block the fire that's coming at her. This was basically used as a diversion, because Madara would appear right behind Esdeath and directly punch her in the back. She would scream out in pain. Madara would grab Esdeath by her hair and knee her directly into the face and then slang her across the terrain. Now, this is where Madara would jump up and do a pencil dive. Well, basically with his feet. Basically, like, say for example, he slingshot himself with his feet. I don't know how to announce it. Basically, what he did was jump up in the air and dive towards the ground. Before he hit the ground with his face, he just switched his body movement and kicked Esdeath directly in the stomach while she was tumbling. Now, both of them would just start getting to blow for blow with each other, just going at it. And now Akame and Mind, they're just waiting to see if they need to interfere. Basically, the air pressure that are coming off from these two is so intense that they can't get close yet. They didn't even know that the two of these people could push out this much power, but they are. Then Esdeath started speeding up around Madara, sort of how like Ichigo was doing to Byakuya, whatever his name is. Sort of how Ichigo was doing to him. He was speeding around creating these after images, and that's what Esdeath is doing. Now, Madara is just looking around with his Sharingan, and she would say, you think I don't know about your little tricky-ass Sharingan? You don't think I know about what it can do? You think you can keep up with me, Madara? And Madara would say, yes, exactly, I can keep up with you. I just have to find out where you're at. My Sharingan is never. Madara is right now, like, just looking. He's trying to focus. He's not trying to talk. So, Esdeath saying, your Sharingan is never what? Never mind that. Just fight. And as she said very well, she would come in and punch Madara directly across the face, being too fast for his eyes to perceive. This is where Madara would say that he has to use his Mangekyo Sharingan. He has to use some extra power. So now Madara uses his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Now this is where he forms the rib cage around his body. And then when Esdeath comes in with another punch, he noticed that when she punches the rib cage, it kind of shatters it. Not shatters it, but like it cracks it a huge ton. Like he can feel the rattle from her punch. This is where Madara would say, Jesus Christ. Then he makes a Susanoo arm and then whacks Esdeath away. And this is where he say, I felt that punch. Jesus, this girl is strong. All right, it's time to stop playing games. All right, I can do it. I only have let's see. I've only practiced with this for like a little while, so most likely I only have like 5 minutes of power. I can use that. Madara closes his eyes, and then when he opens them again, that's when the Rinnegan is showing. Madara tells Esdeath to give up, that she has no chance of winning at this point. And then Esdeath tells him that I'm not giving up. I am going to win. And this is where Esdeath reveals that she has armies of ice soldiers at her display. And this is where Madara just looks at all of them, basically observing what she did and said, how did you have time to do this? And Esdeath said, you can have time while we're fighting. It was just simple. Put one soldier here, put one soldier here, put one soldier here, put one soldier there. And also create dozens of more. While we were fighting, I was also creating soldiers to help me out in battle. This is where Madara would say impressive, but it doesn't matter. This is where Madara would say, I will take all of these guys out in an instant. And then he would appear to be using Sage Mode, Sage Mode around his Rinnegan. This is where Madara would summon that 1,000-arm statue. and start wailing on each and every soldier that was there, even Esdeath that was in the crowd too, just wailing on everything that she had in her arsenal. Now Esdeath would be what's name trying to evade some of these punches, but she would get hit with some of them, hit with a lot of them too, and that would just make her mad. And then she would rush up there at Madara, and Madara would jump off the statue, and the both of them would clash. Now the battle would be going on for more intensity purposes, that now it's in Madara's favor. Madara is now the one that's having the upper hand over Esdeath. Everything she's throwing at him is not working. This she even uses her time stop ability, to which Madara covers himself in a bunch of flames. With using Sage Mode, that he can heal himself, he doesn't care about being burnt or something like that. So Madara covers himself in like a bunch of flames, and as time freezes, the flames are not going to do that much damage, so he'll be able to extinguish them once time unfreezes. So it will cause Esdeath not to get close to him, but which she just kindly threw a sword at him, but she didn't anticipate to how hot these flames were. Madara used the hottest flames in his arsenal, which was blue, and as soon as the sword got there, the sword would start to catch up in flames and then melt. This is where Madara his plan would have worked. Now, Esdeath would unfreeze and be heavily told from doing that, like, freeze thing. Now she can't do it again. This is where Madara would say, now you don't have any hacks in your system. You don't have any more power. Yes, you should start to feel weak right now. Madara would tell her that you have been heavily outmatched this whole battle. I've just been entertaining you. And this is where Esdeath would be like, wait, what do you mean you've just been entertaining me? Just like I said, I've been entertaining you. You have not been a match for me this entire battle. But this has been fun. I have. Tatsumi. I have met somebody with your skill. Someone who's possibly even stronger than you and got some more talent than you do. Right now, what I'm saying is, Esdeath, is that you're no challenge for me. Because if I wanted to, Madara would appear right behind Esdeath and punch her directly in the back. Then appear in front of her and punch her in the face. Then punch her in the stomach. Fast. He's hitting her with simultaneously hits from each direction. He said, if I wanted to, I could kill you in a whim. Now, this is where Madara would appear right back to his normal spot. Esdeath has like ice getting ready to shoot at him, but then Madara transforms into his perfect Susanoo. Esdeath looks up, and her eyes just widen as Madara just looks at her and tells her, this is the power of the strong. This is the power that I manifested to rid every last one of you sick people out of the capital, to get rid of your evilness, to melt your darkness and shed some light on people's lives. This is where Esdeath would fall to her knees and she would give up. Esdeath was a strong person, strong warrior. She never would have gave up in like a regular situation like this, because she would always stood fighting. Like, look what she did to Susanoo. But in this case right here, she knows that she's heavily outmatched, because even though she's landed some hits on Madara, even though she's basically done this to Madara, the fact that what he said is that he let her do all this stuff, basically because he was bored, and now she was basically entertainment, she looks at herself and says that she's weak. Madara then deactivates the Susanoo, and he kneels in front of Esdeath, and he says, join us. You've done a lot, and I mean a lot of death, but that death can be undone. That death can be rewritten. It just means I won't be able to access my Rinnegan for 2 years, but I can do it. It's called Rinne Rebirth. I can bring back all the people that you've killed, all the lives that you've hurt. But I'm here to teach you something else that helps you along the way, that the strong are here to protect the weak. You were given these extraordinary gifts. Why would you use those to kill people? Why would you use it to make people's lives harder? Esdeath says, it's the way I was raised. I always believed that the strong just stand over the weak because we were meant to overpower them and they were just meant to die. Yeah, that's basically ludicrous philosophy you got there. So I'm not gonna basically go into much of that, but I'm also gonna tell you that while I'm living, I will make sure that the weak never fear people like you again. But Madara would extend his hand out to Esdeath and say, "Take my hand. Let's start a new path. Let's just start somewhere new." And with that, I could go into like an epilogue. I'm gonna go into like an epilogue for the next episode to let you know how everybody doing and everything. But basically, yeah, Night Raid just saved the world with Madara and Tatsumi's training and going to the Nozamu village, learning how peace works and everything. And also, they're not so reliant on their imperial arms. You can see how the change was different. Yeah, they saved the world. No deaths, no tragedy, no none of that. Madara prevented every last ounce, like nothing, none of that. So you had time to like grow with the characters and stuff like that. You had time to learn and love these characters without them dying off like so damn fast before you grow like a connection with them. So yeah, everything is in peace right now. Like Tatsumi saved the capital because he beat the shit out of Honest, killed him, and killed what's the name, the lightning rod dude. Yeah. So everything is peaceful now. Now they're just fixing up the capital. Esdeath really is going on a journey with Madara. Both of them are going on a journey together, and it's to basically find them. And Akame is tagging along with them. So now he has Esdeath, an ice user, and Akame, a swordswoman. So they all are going on a 2-year journey. And this is where Madara wants to teach Esdeath the ways of the world. He wants to show her the ways of the world, and he wants to rid the corruption in this world. Not just the capital, but around the globe. So while they're off on their journey, Tatsumi says that everything's going to be all right. He's going to protect the capital. He's going to protect the Nozamu village. He's going to make sure everything's all right until Madara gets back. And he also promises Madara that he's going to be 10 times stronger than he was when he left. So he better be prepared for a fight. As this greenish, bluish energy starts radiating around Tatsumi's body, Madara gets excited as his eyes just starts to turn to the Sharingan. And like Akame just tells them, not now. They just let out a sigh, but then they fist bump each other and say, next time. See you then, my friend. So as they part ways, like Madara, Esdeath, and Akame then journey off into their own path. The rest of the Night Raid basically just helps fix up the capital and go around basically protecting people, getting rid of the corruption that's in the capital, and also turning over the Jaegers, where it's basically some of the Jaegers got killed. Some of the Jaegers got beaten to a pulp. Well, not killed. They were offered a chance, but some of them didn't want to take that chance. So yeah. And also Akime's little sister, who was going through problems being sick, they took her to the Nozamu village. But Tatsumi did tell her that if she did anything out of character, that he was going to break her neck, and it would have happened fast. And she would say, you think you're fast enough to do that? And Tatsumi would say, don't test that theory. If I were you, just be thankful that I'm taking you to this village to heal you. Be thankful. But if you do anything to hurt my friends or family here, I will not hesitate to kill you in a second. And this is where she would say, but what do you... This is what I mean. She would look to her left and see Tatsumi standing right there with a kunai to her neck. And she would say, I couldn't even draw my... How? And Tatsumi would just smile. Just enjoy what we have here, please. Thank you. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed where I went with the video and everything. I'm sorry that it took me so long to basically release this video like I did, but it's here now. It's here now. Anyway, I figured out what I was going to do with my 13 subscriber special, because you guys said you wanted one, but I was also trying to like put everything on my channel and everything. So this is what I'm saying. I might not have that much time to upload videos for you guys. I'm trying to, basically, because I want this to be my main job one day. just uploading videos for you guys, uploading skits for you guys, that'd be nice. I would love to do that one day. But as my schedule is, yeah, I won't be able to do that. I will try. I'm going to try to push out at least 2 to 3 videos in this week for you guys. But anyway, without any further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and plus ultra. Good night, guys.
君の虜にな